Thank you for tuning in to another Vegas Squares Snippet. This time we're covering NHL Expansion. With that being said, looks like Seattle is having a go-ahead for a ticket drive, engage the interest in the city. What are your thoughts about NHL Expansion in Seattle?
Yeah, they've given NHL and Gary Bettman has given the green light to submit an application and subsequently run a ticket drive. I like the fact that Vegas only had to pay $500 million for their expansion team.
It looks like it will be $600 million for Seattle.
$650 is what I'm seeing right now. So Gary Bettman's getting his pockets lined. I've heard stories that if this one goes well, we could see up to 34 franchises in the NHL. Seattle approved a renovation for Key Arena where the Sonics used to play.
Yeah, that would be set due by 2020.
Yeah, so that would be the benchmark for when we could see a hockey team, a 30-second hockey team in Seattle.
It would be perfect fit, I think, for the NHL, having a 30-second team, making the leagues balanced.
Well, Bettman's already said that, as far as people who are thinking relocation, Bettman has come out with a quote that says no current NHL team is even close to moving. So if you believe that, then we're going to have 32 teams. Arizona is going to stay in Arizona. For right now, that probably puts the nail in the coffin for Quebec City, Houston, Kansas City right now. So Seattle was one of the ones who was also available for expansion when Vegas applied. Seattle did not apply. I think they've seen the success of what Vegas can do.
And it sparked the interest of the...
They already have an arena where they don't have to spend $1 billion to do it. $600 million seems cheap given the current state of arenas these days. I mean, T-Mobile, I believe, cost in the $600 million range as well. So Houston, Quebec, you're going to have to put your expansion on the back burner.
I think Seattle's got a legit shot of taking this one.
I mean, there's always a sense if Seattle starts and Calgary can't get their arena set, they may move to Quebec or to Houston. So I don't think that Quebec or Houston's completely out of the running. I think they just need to table theirs for a little bit. But what are your thoughts, especially, with Seattle, if they get an expansion franchise, they're very close to Vancouver.
Yes.
And they would be in the Pacific Division, I would imagine. So that would mean someone
definitely makes sense, yeah.
Someone would have to move from the Pacific Division. And the three teams I see are Calgary, Edmonton, and Arizona. So who would you move?
I'm actually thinking also Colorado might be in that.
Colorado's already in the other division.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So, yeah, good. Yeah. So, like I said, you have Arizona, you have Edmonton, and you have Calgary.
Yeah.
My first thought process is not to break up Edmonton and Calgary because they're a rivalry. Mm-hmm. The Central is already pretty stacked with Minnesota, Chicago. You have St. Louis. Thank you. St. Louis, yeah. Minnesota, Chicago. The Western Conference, Nashville, Winnipeg. You already have a lot of good teams in there where I think the Pacific's in a little bit of a down year. I know Vegas is in there. Los Angeles, San Jose is just not the San Jose of the last few years. Anaheim's down, and Edmonton's obviously getting out to a struggle. So
yes.
I would say moving Arizona into the Central makes the most sense for rivalry purposes and for competition purposes. So I think I'd be interested to see in Seattle, Vegas, matchups here, soon. So I'm excited for the thought of NHL expansion in Seattle, and I hope their ticket drive goes well.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to this. I actually wish if this does happen, just do 2 conferences instead of divisions. Top 8 teams in each conference get in.
You think they would just eliminate the conferences?
Or the divisions?
Or, excuse me, the divisions?
I think it would make more sense.
You could do that. In hindsight, it's all the same, I guess, because most often than not, the top 8 teams usually get split 4-4, so it's not a huge factor. I do like the fact that I don't like the fact that your region can dictate your success. So I am in agreement with you on that, and I hate the fact that it happens in like the NFL and stuff like that. Whereas you're 1 year you're in the NFC West and you can make the playoffs at 7-9.
Yeah.
And 1 year in the AFC East with New England, and you can miss the playoffs at 11-5.
Yes.
So yes, I am in agreement with you that I think that your regional city should not be able to dictate your success or fallbacks. So now, if we go to 34 teams, you got Houston and Quebec City, then someone I think has to move back to the West in that spot. Because those, I mean, I guess you could put Houston in the West.
It would make sense to put Houston in the West to me.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Dallas already in there.
But Dallas is in the West.
Yeah.
So you would put Houston in the West as well?
Yes.
Okay, fair enough. So the next 5 years in the NHL, if obviously we've seen the success of Vegas, and you and I have seen that firsthand from just being in the arena and being around the city. They're a different market. Seattle's got a lot more work to do than Vegas, in my opinion, because their fan base is only a set amount, whereas Vegas has local 2 million people plus 40 million tourists every year.
Yes.
Plus the fact that they bring in away fans.
I think if there's a city that would accomplish with a local market, I could see Seattle being one of those dominant markets to build.
My question is how many of those guys in that area, how many fans in that area are Vancouver fans who are willing to either part with it or add a second team and support that team? So I hope that they're not just jumping on the fact that, hey, Vegas did it. You know, they made it look easy, because I think Vegas is a completely separate market. But I'm rooting for Seattle because, obviously, expansion for the league is better for the league. And it creates more revenue and it creates more games, hopefully, I think. And it creates a better product, in my opinion. And I wouldn't mind going to Seattle maybe once a year to go see a game. So,
yeah, the metro area of Seattle is right around 4 million, just shy of 4 million.
So if they build a 20,000-seat arena, all you got to do is less than 1% of that arena, less than 1% of their population to fill that arena. So
yeah,
I think it'll work. I mean, Seattle makes sense, especially in the Pacific Northwest, to have a team in there that's not a Canadian team. So I'm rooting for them. So Seattle, here in Vegas, we're rooting for you. So hopefully they can get that franchise going here in the next 3 years, I guess. So
yeah, 2020 would be a good starting point.
Yeah. Well, this has been another Vegas Square Snippet. Thank you for tuning in.